SupaKnowVa.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
Welcome to the Supernova Show, everybody.
So who's up for Paulo? You have no Daniel.
Howdy.
So, what's your topic for today?
So they have the new Pokemon games that came out a few weeks ago, close to 3 weeks ago now. And they don't do automatically anymore that the Pokemon are integrated into what they call the national Pokedex, where everybody gets a number. Bulbasaur is number 1, and they just keep adding in every single game. They gave that up. They gave that up with Sword and Shield, actually. So then when they introduced this new game, you have new Pokemon, but they didn't know what their number was in like the overall set. Well, today it came out, and even the wiki article I'm looking at hasn't updated this, but I've seen it from sources that can confirm that, one, there now are over 1,000, and who the number 1,000 is.
I feel bad. I used to know all 152.
It's all that matters. If you really want to stretch it out, 450 is all that matters.
No, 150
the most.
The original
macaroni?
The right one, right? You're seeing
151. Sorry, 151.
Is that a macaroni?
No, it's Goldengo.
Yep, it's called Goldengo. It's the evolution of this guy that everybody who's played Scarlet Violet will have seen Gimmighoul, because you run into it early in the game and you find these little guys everywhere.
Bitcoin?
They make like a distinct little noise when they're out and about, so that you can find them and pick them up. And you get some of them, like you get a bunch of them when you capture this first one, and then you get 1 coin for every one of these little guys you find. And then there's some others. I don't really know the deal. So after hearing that this guy is number 1,000, I looked him up. It's like, you need 999 of these stupid things. I have 200. Also, I've been selling them, and now it's like, well, I shouldn't. Not all of them, but I've been selling what I thought were excess. It's like, so probably screwed myself.
Wasn't that something like with Magikarp or something like that too, to get him to evolve into
Gyarados? No, he evolved
Gyarados,
at a level.
There was something that you needed a bunch of something. I forget the original.
So which one is it? 1,000?
Goldengo.
Oh, I thought it was 999.
No, it's that you need 999 of these stupid coins.
Gimmighoul.
I'm guessing many of them probably aren't going to be found or made by players. Of course, it also has a catch rate, but I don't know if that actually means that you can catch it.
So they're no longer animals anymore. There are all kinds of...
No, they've always been inanimate objects and animals.
Right.
They've always been like that.
I thought there were animals and plants.
No, some
plants, correct. And also plants.
Rocks.
Yeah, when people thought they jumped the shark was this guy.
Vanillix,
It's an ice cream cone Pokemon.
Yeah, where do you find that out in the wild?
Just ice. You find it in the icy
first
land.
3 generations only, please. Anything more than that is kind of...
So do you think they've jumped the shark, Daniel? You're still in, right?
I don't think so. If anything, I've been more invested.
Oh man!
At least in the game as it was meant to be played. I've never cared about battling or breeding in particular. They've made that easier and easier as the years have gone by. There was a guy I knew. There was a guy I knew when we went to Japan, American guy, but he was in that program with us, who was crazy dedicated breeder. And I remember, I think it was on the flight back, he had his old school Nintendo DS because it could play the Game Boy Advance games, and he was just grinding out eggs in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, taking advantage of this 14-hour flight to just go, go, go. And, and every one just has a certain chance of having certain stats. And so you would just be like, okay, trash egg, trash, have all these babies and just right in the trash. Now they've made it easier, albeit it's kind of awkward. Because it used to be you had to put the 2 Pokemon in a daycare and wait, go away, wait, come back, and they would have produced an egg if they were, both of the compatible gender. And there's also egg groups, which
unless you have Ditto,
right?
If you have Ditto, it's anybody's game on that one.
But that's also how it would work, because there are male only species, and what are you supposed to do there otherwise, along with like the gender free species as always. But then there are also specific egg groups. But now to speed up the process, this game, you can just do picnics. And so if you do a picnic and you have in your party 2 Pokemon of the compatible, gender match and egg group match, they'll just go at it. Which is like
that's what the young kids say now.
Yeah, that's what they do in the game. Does the screen go black?
I don't know. I've never. I was only doing picnics at the very beginning because I picked up a baby Pokemon Azurill, if you remember Meryl from way the hell back. Well, in a later generation, they gave that one a like baby form, but the babies, you always need to coddle them. They need to be at a certain happiness level to evolve. And the picnics, like just being in the picnic makes them happier. And you can also wash them. It's like a stupid little
sound more
game.
like Tamagotchi or something like that.
Yeah, you like soap them up and then you suds them off and it makes them happy, and like
that's right.
Keep them in the party and battle them. So I was doing that frequently until I got Azurill to evolve. But after that, I haven't bothered. So I don't even know if anybody. I should try it just to see. Because my main team is 2 female, 4 male, and I don't know if any of them are
compatible.
Yeah.
So is that the same thing for like with the unevolved form of Pikachu? I know that they did something.
Yep.
Like that
yeah.
too.
Pichu, the classic Togepi. Like when I had Legends Arceus earlier this year, I decided to have a Togepi in my team, and I had to do it twice because I caught one Togepi, did the happiness evolve, and then raised that thing all the way up to Togekiss. It was like the new higher evolution, which made it really strong and really good. Like you'll see Togekiss in competitive teams a lot, or at least you would. Again, I don't follow it that much, but then Arceus had a thing where you could just find what they called alphas, which were just large size, stronger versions of the same Pokemon randomly distributed. And so I was wandering around looking for something else, and I found in the same place I found the old Togepi, I found a new one, but bigger and better. So it's like, I gotta do the whole damn thing all over again.
So do you get to keep your previous data from your previous games?
So because they broke it apart with Sword and Shield, and even then there were always either limited or no way to trade directly between the games. Like famously Gold, Silver, Red, Blue had it, but then there was a complete discontinuity between 2 and 3. 3 had a really obscure way that you could send them up to 4, but not vice versa. And 4 likewise had this weird, I remember going through it because I had some rare ones I decided to send through. It's just like very obscure way that you could go from 4 to 5. And I don't know like beyond that, but eventually they just introduced a service, Pokemon Home, that you can just have your Pokemon outside of the games and then redistribute them to other games that are home compatible. But like at a freeware level, your limit on how many you can have or move around is very low. Then you got to pay like $24 a year, which for the hardcore people is fine, but for the regular folks is like, why bother?
I thought each game built on the previous games because it was all about collecting the Pokemon and battling them.
That was the controversy, yeah, when because Sword and Shield was the first one to fully nix, because like there was the case in all prior games that every single Pokemon existed in the game, just that only the ones that were part of that era were meant to be catchable. Right. But then it became like too much of a bother because they started doing not just the 3D games, but the HD 3D games where the Pokemon could like walk around and have different, like, you know, here I am, happy, sad, like asleep, whatever. And for as much money as the games have always made, the company that makes them is still quite small. It's actually pretty impressive what they can pull off despite being that size, but they just don't have the manpower to like rig and animate. You know, now it's over 1,000 because that one I showed y'all was not, there was one past it, and I know there are a few, so I guess like the legendaries are what's above 1,000 now, the legendaries for the new game.
Above Macaroni Man.
Yep.
Okay.
He's made like out of coins.
It's like the arm flailing tube,
yeah.
But he's made out of gold and coins.
Like he's made out of
macaroni. Coins.
Makes me
hungry. And it said his ability is called Good as Gold, which negates all status moves. So you can't put him to sleep or paralyze. There's some more obscure ones too.
Okay. Well, I've never played Pokemon. I've never played Pokemon Go. I never played the Pokemon card game. So I've never seen an episode of Pokemon on TV.
You haven't?
Nope. I saw the Pokemon movie. So
which one?
The live action one.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
That's not the same, sir.
I liked it though. It was good.
It was solid.
Yeah.
It's just not the Pokemon movie.
Well, whatever.
The Mewtwo, the introduction of Mewtwo.
Pikachu. They're making us a sequel, so I'll go see that one too. It's kind of like the Sonic movies, you know.
I wasn't aware they were making a sequel.
Yeah.
Wonder who's going to get, because it was that studio Legendary that made the first one, and I know they got real pissed off when old Warner Brothers management did the whole straight to HBO Max thing
for
2020 and 2021.
Yeah, for Kong versus Godzilla or whatever.
Yeah, so Legendaries jumped ship. They're going to Sony now.
Well, we'll see what happens. I know they had greenlit sequels that I guess that might have messed it up, and that's why it hasn't materialized yet.
Then it was also got sold to Discovery, so that's a whole different thing that's going on with them anyway.
Oh yeah, it's everything. Well, for a while there, it seemed like the new guy was just trying to burn the place down and sell it for parts, but that didn't. The killings stopped after a while, blessedly, but it did for a moment there. It just seemed like, you know, this is like one of those. What are they? Not venture capital. What is?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. The people
Bain Capital, private equity. You know, they buy the company and then saddle it with a crap ton of debt and then drive it into the ground and sell it for parts.
Yeah.
Almost what you would think Elon Musk was trying to do to Twitter, but there's nothing to sell at the end of that. So I think he's just stupid.
He's lost his mind.
Oh yeah, so the city of San Francisco right now is investigating him because they converted, you know, he expects people to sleep there. He sleeps there. And so they actually have converted some office spaces into housing, which of course is not up to code.
Zoned for that, right?
So, you know, the city is looking at him, and also he's messing with the janitorial staff, so they're on strike. So it's it's all going pretty good for.
We'll see what goes on in the next few months with that. Yeah, I saw the headline. I didn't get a chance to read the article of the Twitter hotel rooms.
Well, we will end there, I guess.
We'll see you guys on the next drop.
Later.